up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Video Game Bang. We are back. We are ready to go. We're on fire. I don't know where I was going to go with this intro.
That's how it be sometime, though.
That's how it is. You start a conversation and you don't know where it's going.
Yeah, it's podcast host problems, dude. I'm finally I have someone that I could talk about these things.
Relate.
Yeah, no one can relate to this stuff.
You heard his voice, everybody. Curtis is on the show.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Swerve!
My voice has changed. I say what's up pizzas now.
Whoa.
It's crazy.
Is that what you think I sound like, bro?
That is what you sound like.
Wow. All right.
Corey's on the show.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How's it going? I'm happy to be here.
You don't sound happy.
Happy to be here, everybody.
We're in such a good mood. The Shock are in the finals on ABC. Like, my boys, my little boys, my precious little Shock boys, were on ABC network
They're
television
never going to hear
today.
this, right?
No, they're not going to. Don't listen to this
That's
stuff.
how I tweet them.
The only reason you can say that.
Yeah.
No, they were on ABC television. It was a proud moment for us. It was like huge to see all this work and stuff go to network television. And they made it, and they crushed their foes, the Philadelphia Fusion, and they're in their first finals of their first stage playoffs. So
Nice.
a lot on the line tomorrow. I'm excited.
That's awesome. You heard her voice, Emmaskies. Welcome to the show.
I want to die.
Yeah?
I'm in the middle of Con Crunch, and I want to die.
You learned D&D today.
I did learn D&D.
Sort of.
I played D&D. Well, I learned a version of D&D.
Heavily modified.
Actually, you know what? Learned is a strong word.
That's true.
And you also had your class, right?
And I had my class. It's been a busy time. It's been a very busy
How was
time.
the class? How'd it go?
It was good. We talked about wigs.
Oh.
It was a good time.
I could like help somebody pick out a wig and help them style it.
Did you? Okay, this
What if I
is
give you a
perfect.
pop quiz right now?
I'd love to see this, please.
Do it.
Case study.
What does synthetic mean in a wig?
It's like fiber. It's like hair that's made out of fiber. It's not actual hair. It's like almost like a plastic chemical kind of thing.
Is he right?
He is right.
But I would have guessed that. Like, I didn't even go to the class, and I knew that.
What is a skin top?
Skin top is a cap that you put on your head to hold your hair down before you put on.
That is incorrect.
Oh shit! No, hang on. You're right. No, you're right.
Wow.
It just dawned on me. Skin top is the part of the wig that some wigs have, where it's like a silicone kind of rubbery piece, and it makes it look like so the hair is actually growing out of your scalp, and not.
He has a general idea of what it is. It's not silicone or rubber at all.
That's just kind of that's what it looked like.
But
from
it is
the
like a
back row.
round top at the top of some wigs, where it makes it look like the hair is growing out of a central point. Very
Yeah.
good.
All right, he
I'm proud
learned.
of you.
All right, that is
And
good.
I'm glad
is
that
good.
you pay attention, and I appreciate you. And
Yeah.
you're a good person.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
He knows what a couple new things are.
No, if you know about wigs, you're a good person. It's a scientific fact.
Okay.
That was a weak as shit high
That
five.
Is that better?
Why can't we do this?
Boom, there it is. And that's why you need to watch us on twitch.tv/videogame_bang so you can see Emma and I fell at high fives. We're brought to you, speaking of Emma's class, we're brought to you by Oblivion Comics and Coffee. Come for the comics, stay for the coffee. Co-host or venue for Emma's Cosplay 101 classes. And sponsor of Curtis's Comic Corner on Wednesdays.
And we have an event coming on.
And we have an event coming up. Are we ready to announce that?
Yeah, we got a date. We're locked in.
All right. So we are doing a trivia night at Oblivion Comics and Coffee on April 8th at 6:30. You can sign up online at
Reserve
6.
your tables.
Reserve your tables. Reserve your place at the hearth.
They were educating
for
me.
the throne.
Yeah, I had to be educated on what a hearth was.
On the hearth, yes.
And how to pronounce the word hearth.
Hearth. I still feels good. Hearthstone.
That's
No,
what I
that
thought it
hurts
was
me.
called for the
Hearth?
It
longest.
hurts me.
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone, yeah.
Hearthstone.
Place at the hearth.
It takes too much mouth effort.
What is a hearth anyway?
Exactly.
What's a hearth?
We talked about this. We had this discussion like 20 minutes ago.
I know, but we didn't have it in front of them. What is a hearth?
Yeah.
Well, now it's the area in front of your fireplace.
Yeah, it's
Stone
like your
bit
fire.
in front of your
Yeah,
fireplace.
but
Mm-hmm.
back then, in terms of like Middle Ages, Game of Thrones period, it was like a larger. Would you consider it kind of like a formal sitting room? Would be kind of like a hearth, in a
It's
way.
like a family room.
Yeah,
I
like a
would
family
say.
room.
'Cause
Yeah,
It's the inner circle.
the inner circle. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can go join our hearth at Oblivion Comics Coffee on April 8th. And the key part is we're not posting the event until late on Monday, maybe Tuesday.
Yeah.
So if you hear our words here, you can actually get ahead of the game. On Twitter, we'll post a link and we'll get you DMs or whatever. However you want to get it, we can get you a reserved table. So we want to reserve those tables because it's going to get a little packed. So let's go.
Also sponsored by Energy Esports, Vast GG, and Mainframe USA. So Saturday shows are we doing TED Talks on Saturdays?
I don't think we
Web
can
Talks.
legally say
We're doing
that.
Web Talks
There
on
you go.
Saturdays.
Thank
Web
you.
Oh.
We 100% came up with that before the show. That was not right off the cuff. That is trademarked. Don't take it.
Web Talks. I like it.
Web Talks.
I don't know what's more
I
impressive.
think
The
we
fact
just got our name for the Saturday show. For every Saturday show.
boom.
Web Talks. VGB Web Talks.
We can fist bump a lot better than we can high five. So this week we're continuing a discussion that we started on Wednesday, and thankfully Emma jumped in and said, "Whoa, guys, let's move on to video games."
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it was gonna be a whole episode.
We had actually a great episode last week covering some huge topics going on. We got the Stadia, Google Stadia coming
Yep.
out, and then we talked about the merger between Fox and Marvel. But we were falling down the rabbit hole of just the potential that exists in the MCU going forward with this merger. And like David said, we would have talked about it the entire time until we got steered back in the right direction.
Hey guys. We have notes. You guys, we have notes. I don't know if you know.
Spoken like a true
I know,
Ravenclaw.
this show
It is Ravenclaw Pride Day.
Is
Is
that
that-
why you're wearing? So
That is
the
why
whole
I'm
time.
wearing my-
So if you're just listening to the show and you're not actually watching us on Twitch, Emma's wearing like a blue, like cardigan. Thank you. I was gonna say sweater, so we have been wrong. With like the silver stripes on it, or gray stripes, and
Well, because in the movies they got the colors wrong, but
oh my god,
Oh,
that's
that's
Ravenclaw.
it's supposed to be
Anyway.
blue and bronze.
This whole
But I guess if we're going by the movies, it's blue and silver.
This whole time, I've been thinking it was like an Archie thing from like Riverdale, and then I think at one point you like closed your cardigan, and I saw it was Ravenclaw. That's
happy
not
Ravenclaw
about
Pride
this
Day.
discussion at all. So we're gonna talk about the
Thank
MCU.
God. Otherwise, me and Curtis would have to get subbed
No,
out
you
real
know what?
quick.
I had to sit through Prince. One of these times, you guys are sitting through Harry Potter.
Oh, we'll do
That's
it.
just happening.
We'll do it.
Wait, had to sit through Prince? Nobody has to sit through Prince. Come on.
I had zero to contribute to that conversation.
The only reason I fully listened to that episode is because I wanted to be able to come back and bitch at you guys about how long it took you to talk about video games. 49 minutes. 49 minutes into
Dang.
a 54-minute podcast.
Don't-
And I think we only talked
still
about
angry
one
about
thing
it.
and went right back to Prince.
Yeah,
before
I think we did. We were like, oh, we got to meet our minimum Emma requirements, and then
Yeah.
we're back to Prince, baby.
Which video game said Prince soundtracks?
You know, this is
Yes.
swear to God, true story. At the end of the last show, David and Emma have stuff to go do, so they left, and so me and Curtis just kind of hung out with the crowd, you know, that was left on Twitch, and we started falling down the music rabbit hole. Nexie, who you guys know from the show, her mom joined our chat and donated $20 and asked us to play Freebird.
That's so cool.
It was glorious.
It was so good. So shout out to Nexie's mom, man.
Speaking of shout outs, I'm going to shout out to Curtis for coming up with somewhat of a structure for us to follow for this discussion, so we're not all over the place. So on Wednesday, like we said, we talked about a little bit about the MCU, the potential for it, and specifically where we really started going down the rabbit hole is what villain, like what big bad, what big threat are we going to see that's going to be the overarching theme in the next phase, or starting in the next phase. But before we do that, let's go back. Let's talk about this, what we now know as the Infinity Saga, and let's talk about what you guys think the most significant movie of the Infinity Saga is. Like, what was it that really you could look at it as a pivotal point?
Iron Man.
That was my answer too.
Starting with the
Started
Genesis.
everything. There would be nothing without it.
Yep, literally.
If you want to talk about the biggest impact, I don't know about that, but the most influential,
Well, we could say it's significant, the most significant movie.
Infinity War at
Infinity.
that point. Well, actually, Endgame. I think we could say that without even having seen it. Endgame is going to be the most significant movie of the entirety of the Infinity Saga, in my opinion.
If we're buying into that, the end is automatically the most significant, which there's a lot of cases to be made, because whatever we know it's going to be important, because whatever happens there has to be big enough, good enough, whatever, to sustain another 20 years worth of movies.
Yeah.
So it's got to be. If not, we're going to have some major problems, starting in the next phase.
Well, no,
whatever
we're
you
not
call
even
it.
looking at the next phase. We're talking about
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
yeah.
I think as far as most significant goes, easily Thor: The Dark Worlds.
You're a bad person.
Really just
and you know what?
teed
Can
it
I
up.
mute your mic and put you on timeout?
Biggest troll.
Time him out in the chat. Can we time Cory out in the chat, please?
I will ban you from this room.
I think they were all significant in
your
their
own
own,
home.
own different ways. Maybe Civil War,
Why?
because when we get introduced to like a whole other side, we get the Wakanda entrance, and then it kind of blends in stuff we'd seen before with space, and I feel like everything just started to kind of come together into one plot line. Since before that, I mean, I guess I don't know if we consider Thor space. I don't think Thor turned space until like Ragnarok. You know, so connecting all these Guardians movies.
I would.
Is from space.
Yeah, but it's not. It doesn't take place in space.
It
Guardians
just goes from Asgard to
Yeah, it just has
Earth,
Guardian
and
God
that's
stuff.
It. There's
Yeah.
no, there's not even any flying through space because he comes
No.
through the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah.
The Bifrost.
And yeah.
I think for me, at first I was going to agree with Emma and say Iron Man 1.
And then I stole it, so now you have to come up with something else.
A little bit. A little bit. I'm
Essentially.
pivoting. I'm pivoting.
All right, Pied Piper.
I'm going to say Avengers, the first one. Because although in Iron Man, that's the start of building the team, Avengers is when we first realize that there's a bigger threat out there.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
it's coming.
Oh,
there
the
you
introduction
go.
of Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what teed off the whole arc.
Yeah.
Oh, wise, David
that.
Webb. I think I think I'm gonna convert to that way of thinking.
From
I mean, I'm
Dark
not
World,
changing
yeah,
because
that's
I'm
smart.
not that easily swayed, but you know.
Nice.
So wait, was it at the end of the original Iron Man where we get the Avengers Initiative
Yes.
thing? Okay.
Yeah.
So I remember losing my shit when I saw
Me
that.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was just like realizing what's going to happen.
Where we're going from here.
Where we're going from here, I was just like, oh my God.
And you know what I think we never talk about is how well the franchise recovered over the initial stumble of the Incredible Hulk.
Totally.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Did that
that
come
movie
after
too?
Iron Man?
Okay, it released after Iron Man.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
It's
talking about the
part-
Edward Norton one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's part of the MCU. It is canonically part of it. If you buy the Phase 1 box set, it's in there.
But it's not Marvel Studios.
It.
Is it?
Yeah, but yeah.
it
It's Marvel Studios distributed by Universal.
is. Yeah.
Oh.
That one's crazy when you think about it too, because that's actually the highest profile recast I think we've seen
Oh, 100%.
in the series, but no one really cares or talks about it.
Did we have other recasts?
Yeah, Rhodey.
Oh, Rhodey. Oh, yeah, that's true.
That
Rhodey.
was a dramatic one.
Yeah,
It
we got
was,
it was a real Vivian Banks situation.
Yeah, Viv, yeah. No, it literally was.
And
Yeah.
they did some snarky way to address it when he comes on screen for the first time. I can't remember what he says.
I forget what he says
He just
too,
says
but it
something
was
like
snarky.
you look different or
Oh,
something
did you
like
lose
that.
weight or something like that? Yeah, it was some
It was
snarky.
hilarious.
That's right. It was.
But-
I don't remember what it was.
And we all I feel like we all just it's so far out of our minds. Nobody talks about what a stumble the Incredible Hulk was, which I think is a testament to the studio that they were able to recover from it so well.
Totally.
Because that could have, I mean, if you're trying to start a massive franchise and your second movie is a fumble like that, that could take
hurts.
your legs right out from under you.
Totally.
Yeah.
See, and I just
You
never
only get one more after that to recover. If you do one good one and then two bad ones in a row, that's a lot of faith lost.
I never thought of it as part of like
Yeah, because they breezed right past it to Iron Man 2. And then Iron Man 2 was successful, but then it had its own things that people had problems with, like, how am I forgetting Mickey Rourke? Mickey Rourke's character, Whiplash.
Yeah.
And the bird. Where's my bird? People didn't
You know who was
like
great in that though? Sam Rockwell.
It was
as
my
Justin
favorite,
Hammer.
Justin
He was
Hammer.
fantastic, which was great because he auditioned for Tony Stark and didn't get it, but they
Nice.
liked him so much they brought him as Justin Hammer.
I love it, and it's funny. There was years ago there was someone who would call me constantly, and I don't know why I didn't think about blocking them, but instead I renamed their number Justin Hammer, and I put that picture in my phone, so every time they called, it was Justin Hammer. It's like, you went from making me mad to happy now.
That one, the Iron Man series had did the best job of getting complimentary actors around Robert Downey Jr. because he's so
Yeah.
good, and he had that kind of mystique thing from the 80s when he kind of
Yeah.
fell out and into drugs, and it was like his big redemption arc. And it was kind of similar for Mickey Rourke, I feel like, at the time too. He had like a terrible reputation.
Yeah.
Totally.
But then they
turned it
paired
around.
him up with like people like you guys were saying, Sam Rockwell and Ben Kingsley, even
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
these really good, cool actors that are amplified by Robert Downey Jr.
Most importantly, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, her too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Most importantly, like
Yeah.
like their balance and their chemistry. I mean, he's quick fire, rapid fire off, and she just keeps up and even like gets ahead in the smoothest ways, and it's like you keep him in line. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
I just
he
like
would-
her less now that I know she's crazy.
Oh,
Like Gwyneth Paltrow is crazy.
Oh, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
whole goop shit. Like I'm like, I
Oh, her
liked,
brand?
I
Like
liked
her-
Pepper Potts, but now,
You talking about the
her like
brand thing that
wellness
she-
brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
shit that either doesn't work or is gonna fucking kill you.
That's quite Campbell. Side effects may cause death or nothing.
Or nothing.
Or
Yeah.
What was that
happiness.
shit she put out? I'm off topic, but what was that shit she put out? It was like she's like they're like stickers that are supposed to return you to homeostasis. They're supposed to balance your energy,
Oh, word.
and they're the same kind of adhesive that's used on NASA spacesuits. And NASA was like, no, the fuck, they're not. Like NASA had to publicly come out and be like, this is not anything that we.
It's like when Doom came out and they're like, we're not a part of this.
Yeah.
It's actually, we're not a part of this.
I just want to see like a commercial, like the Flex Tape commercials. Have you guys seen those? Oh my God, it's the best pitchman since we lost our dear friend
Billy Mays.
Billy Mays.
Yeah, Billy Mays. This guy comes out with this stuff called Flex Tape, and it's a super strong adhesive tape. And there's this priceless scene where he's got a boat, like standing up, like a little tiny boat. He saws it in half, kicks it, and goes,
Oh, yeah.
"I just sawed this boat in half." It's like, what? And then the very next scene, he uses this tape on it, and he's
Yeah.
back on the river. You know,
No
it's so
way.
wild. Yeah,
That's hilarious.
That's what it is. That's the goop stuff.
I wanted to start doing that. I just drove myself to work. Oh man!
Gwyneth
Kurt,
Paltrow's crazy.
to get us back on track, Chris,
Yes.
did you say what your most significant movie is?
I did not. I'm glad I went last because I was gonna say the one that you did. Because to me that was loyal. That was the start of. That was the start to me where things really came together, and we saw like, okay, they can make this happen. They can bring all these characters together. Like, and make it work pretty organically.
Yeah.
So I think I was gonna choose that one, but since I had to pivot, I actually didn't get to rifle all the way through it. So I'm just gonna throw out one with my own argument for it. It is still my favorite movie, Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna say thank you, Emma.
My boy Bucky.
Bucky.
think I know where
Mr.
you're going with
Buchanan,
this.
James Buchanan Barnes. I'm picking that one because I think of how much of a shock and how it kind of it shocked us so much that I think from there we saw that they can still surprise us after they bring them all together and tear them all apart and all that stuff. Like, okay, here goes a whole new angle where superhero movies don't just have to be superhero movies; they can be like subgenres,
Yeah,
like
spy
you know,
thrillers.
Espionage.
Espionage,
and
yeah.
all that
That's
stuff.
true.
Yeah, and also like they if you talk about subverting expectations, like who not only how Hydra had infiltrated SHIELD, but also who the antagonist ended up being. It was almost like a, you know, right next to us, the closest person to Cap, and just how like all of that stuff, how it just snuck up on us. So I'm gonna say Captain America: Winter Soldier, because you took mine.
Well, I know I could see that being really significant too because of just like it takes a turn for the Avengers and how they're ran. I mean, it kind of sets
Totally.
the stage for the Sokovia Accords to come into play because before, like, you know, they had a governing agency, and that was the whole point of the Sokovia Accords was like, there's nobody regulating you guys.
No.
You can do whatever the hell you want. Like,
Yeah.
that can't happen. Yeah.
So I feel like all of us, like all this combined, all this to say, shout out to Kevin Feige,
Totally.
who can plan all this out so that we all
Right?
have different interpretations of what the most influential movie
Yeah.
of the entire franchise
For
is,
sure.
and none of us are particularly wrong.
No.
No, we're all-
I
yeah.
support like everyone, all the arguments for it. I'm like, I could totally see that. Absolutely.
What's funny about Winter Soldier is I was reading an article like a while back because Winter Soldier took place during season 1 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And Joss Whedon directed season 1. and he was saying how the producers came to him and said, like, okay, you can do whatever you want, but no, in Winter Soldier we're taking out S.H.I.E.L.D. So be prepared for that. So do whatever you want, but no, at this point,
we're turning your show on its ear.
yeah, S.H.I.E.L.D. is
Before it really starts.
The agency is going to be gone, so be prepared.
Yeah.
What about missteps though? Do you guys think there were any missteps in Phase 1? Maybe not
The
like
Incredible Hulk.
maybe
That was the second step, and it was a misstep.
that's an easy one to say. Like there was a bad movie, but overall, like maybe with liberties they took with the arc as a whole, though. Like Infinity Gauntlet, if you will go through all the movies and kind of how they all shape together, is
So we're talking just Phase 1, right?
no, I'm sorry, Infinity
Okay.
Saga.
Big
So
Saga?
everything up
I
until
mean,
Thor: The Dark World.
well,
besides just like a movie, I mean like
That's
a
just
plot,
bad.
like something like.
So-
to me, I'll go first.
Oh.
I
I'll go
think
first.
you and I are gonna have the same one.
I thought Age of Ultron.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
never
yeah.
mind.
I thought
That whole movie was a mess.
I thought that movie was kind of a mess, and I think that Age of Ultron was an arc in the comics that was so good, like alternate dimension style, where Ultron had already won, and it's just like Wolverine is like one of the main components of it.
Right.
So it had characters that they don't even have license to.
Right.
And really, it's just in name.
Yeah.
Age
It's
of
not
yeah.
even- it wasn't even.
Nothing even close. And I feel like Ultron is one of those top high tier potential characters that they could have in the next series expanded on and gave more of a pivotal story. Maybe like a Loki style,
Yeah.
from this generation, like the one villain who kind of goes around a little bit in maybe not the big bad.
Right.
But now Ultron's just kind of dead. He served like a singular purpose to do some plot moving for Tony Stark, and
He's
then
not
it's
technically
over.
dead.
Yeah, they could resurrect
I mean,
him, I
well,
guess.
but that is Ultron in the comics. Literally, like every time his body
Yeah.
gets taken out, he's always like pushing his consciousness, or his
Yeah.
data into another body to come back. So he's not technically gone. But I feel what you're saying. Like that, it wasn't a real Age of Ultron.
No, it was a one and done. Like now, I would agree with. I still disagree because I feel like if he does something later on, that's like writers saving it. But as far as this series goes, they brought in
Infinity Saga.
Ultron
Yeah.
into the Infinity Saga and called it Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
And unless Ultron has something to do with the plot in this last movie, it really has no payoff, in my opinion, on the
True.
grand scheme.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So this is interesting. So how are you looking at it as because Ultron didn't go farther than this movie that it's a failure?
Yeah.
Like because Ultron had a beginning, middle, and
Like they turned him into a one and done.
Yeah, and
like,
I think
easily-
unnecessarily too. I think they
so was Killmonger.
Yeah, but I don't put him on the level as Ultron.
Why?
Just because Age of Ultron was an entire arc with one singular villain who conquered and dominated. Like,
Yeah.
I don't remember any Killmonger series where he's the title character, where he's the one that everybody's focused on.
Not an arc, but I mean, but that goes back to kind of what we were talking about before. Like, these ain't the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, and I'm with you on like the two that come to mind immediately as like missteps in plot are both from Age of Ultron.
okay. Now, plot wise, why?
Black Widow and Hulk, and the attempt to force a romantic relationship there that
Yeah.
nobody wanted,
That's-
nobody
Yeah.
asked for, and doesn't work on any level.
And it was
Okay,
very confusing.
I'm good with that because I agree with
and
that.
and that was the whole thing where they had where like she thinks she's a monster because she can't have babies and like
Right.
just that whole thing.
I agree with that.
And the way that they brought in Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
I understand that you don't have access to the
Right.
mutants. I
Yeah.
get that.
Sure.
You got to ride around that.
Right.
What you don't have to do is take your only two Jewish characters and make them volunteer for a Nazi organization to be experimented on. That was a tone deaf. Just I can't believe nobody brought that up in writing.
And they volunteered. That's what it was.
They were
Okay.
volunteers.
I was
They
always
talk
under the
about
impression that they got-
volunteering because they wanted to kill Tony Stark.
Right.
That's
They
right.
did. Yeah, they volunteered for that because they wanted to get the powers. Yeah, because some Stark tech was responsible for
Yeah.
messing up. I forget the name of their.
They talk
yeah.
about how their home was bombed and they're like stuck under a bed and they could see the missile that they didn't know if it was going to
Right.
detonate and it was a Stark,
Right.
Stark
Exactly. They
Industries.
saw the name on
because
the
it was when
missile,
he
right,
didn't
right.
know what his company was doing.
Right.
Totally. Okay.
But so there were two really horribly massive missteps in plot in that, both of which written by Joss Whedon, FYI. Which I think is just goes to show like one of the many reasons that I don't like him, the way that he writes.
Yeah.
But those were both just like, and it's never, nobody cares about the Natasha Bruce storyline. Nobody's ever gone into it after that. As there was like a mention, you know,
Just
it's kind of mentioned in Ragnarok.
Infinity War.
In Infinity War,
yeah.
they just see each other, and it's like,
Hey,
the
Nat.
Russo brothers are like, we don't even want to address this.
Yeah, they were like,
Falcon's
yeah, it's like a con.
It's
They were
getting
like,
awkward in here.
Like, no, this is Joss
that was
Whedon.
Falcon's line.
Like, what it feels like is like the Russo brothers know that it's a bad plot point that they don't want to deal with, and that's how they're going to address it. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's totally
it's an
how they
awkward
did.
moment, now we can move on and never talk
Yeah,
about it
that
again.
was awkward. We're gonna say it was awkward. We're gonna move on.
yeah.
And now we're done.
So, well, my question, because I agree with all those things as far as like the film and the writing specifically to that, but I'm thinking of like what after that movie was done, what did that leave that moved on the overall narrative that kind of pushes along the Infinity Saga?
Well, Pocket is right that the only big thing we got out of Ultron was Vision.
Yeah, and that
was very important to me. That is very important to me. I love Vision as my boy, partially and very largely because he runs the Young Avengers, and that
Right.
is a very important plot point that I would love for us to talk about. But that is, I think, like you're saying, the longest lasting impression that we get out of that is Vision.
Yeah. And literally, not only that, but that was the last stone
Yes.
that Thanos got
Yeah.
before he was able to do what he did with the...
I think because so part of Vision's original creation and storyline had nothing to do with Ultron, though, right?
in the comics?
Yeah, in the comics.
No.
Yeah.
Ultron created Vision.
Yeah.
Hank
but-
Pym
right.
created Ultron.
Hank Pym
Ultron
created Ultron.
Vision. And in the movie, Ultron created Vision.
So that's the only reason they would have possibly brought him in then.
Well,
Ultron?
Yeah, Ultron.
But he did
Ultron.
it in the movies by accident, right?
Like
sort
Vision
of.
was,
Like,
he was making the
he was making a
vibranium
body for himself.
right, and he was gonna put himself in it,
Yeah,
and then
they took it and
yeah,
it was a whole thing.
because Tony Stark can't say no. He's the Barry Allen of like
He's gonna
the
fuck up the timeline.
Yeah.
Let's make some more space tech that's gonna fuck everybody over.
Yeah.
over and over.
I think besides those things we covered, you could probably nitpick a little bit more, but overall, they did a damn good job with this
I was
20
gonna say,
years of fucking movies.
My pick for one that was probably on the same level as Hulk in terms of like real insignificance is Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
The
The
first
only-
Ant-Man movie?
Yeah, the first one. The only thing it does is introduce the character, but it does nothing for the overall plot of the saga.
Quantum Realm.
Which we don't really talk about
But that's
until the end of the movie and get more into an Ant-Man and the Wasp.
True.
Which is
Yeah.
why I have said since the first time I saw the trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ant-Man and the Wasp should have been the first movie.
That should have been the
we
first
did
movie.
not need Ant-Man when we had Ant-Man and the Wasp. That movie is unnecessary when
Because
you have Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp goes... It talks about the quantum realm basically as if it was never brought up in the first one.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was because that's where
No, it was.
and he even went into the quantum realm. In the
No,
first
he's
one.
saying
Not in
like
the first
it's
one.
like you could watch Ant-Man and the Wasp and get everything you need to know about the quantum realm from that movie. There's
Yes.
nothing that you need to know from the first one that you now know. Like it doesn't really, say anything about it. I get
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Yeah. But yeah, so that'd probably be my pick for probably the least significant. I think that was
Okay.
the theme that we're going for. So looking forward to the movies that are coming out in the next series, the next arc. What are your guys' most anticipated?
So I had my laptop open and I had all these things. And I think it just
let me
got-
throw in my least significant real quick. Cause
Oh,
I
yeah.
forgot
Oh.
to throw in mine. No
Yeah.
worries. My least significant is going to be. I don't think this is a good one. It is kind of tough, and you guys kind of did pick the ones that I was going to pick. Oh, I'll pick one. I got Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
That one was the least.
You could take that
significant.
movie completely out and it
And
wouldn't change anything.
It wouldn't change anything. It was literally right after Avengers.
That's true.
I feel
I feel like the only lasting thing you can get
storyline.
from that is you get the Iron Legion, which you can introduce in any other way.
Totally.
And Pepper with the what the fuck is that called?
Extremis.
Rescue.
Extremis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
you
was
get
the-
Extremis,
the
but then
tease
she's
of
cured of
Rescue.
it at the end of the movie, so there's literally no point. to it.
Yeah.
Right.
She has
had
it for like
and-
10 minutes.
You
And
could
it
have
was
introduced
gone,
the Iron Legion in it was introduced in Ultron, or it was in Ultron.
Yeah, Iron Legion was in
Yeah.
Ultron, and
And
it was
then
in
Homecoming.
Spider-Man. Yeah, Homecoming. Yeah.
So and both of those would have been fine in terms of like
just introducing it.
introducing it instead of yeah, it's true.
Yeah, we even
And
got the Iron
they
Patriot.
went a really
and-
weird
yeah.
direction with the Mandarin.
Yeah,
Oh,
They
that
went
too.
a
Oh,
really
yeah.
weird
This-
direction.
Hey, he's
that-
another
that-
dude who
that's
can make
when-
a comeback.
See, Hydra infiltrating Shield underneath your nose. great subversion of expectation.
Mandarin?
The Mandarin is some
like-
struggling thespian.
Yeah.
Bad subverting expectation.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and so he in 3 he takes out the arc reactor. He finally has the surgery.
Yeah.
And which, by the way, I'm like,
I'll say that hurt the plot line.
Yeah,
'cause him taking it out and destroying all of the armor.
why didn't you just do that in the very beginning? If you could use the arc reactor and just the suit, why does it need to be you in the first place? Like, what the?
Vanity, maybe. That's Tony Stark, man.
Well, the whole time I'm thinking like, okay, maybe it's just like it's too risky for surgery. It just can't be
And
done.
that's why he has it in the comics, because it's too risky of a surgery.
Right.
It's the shrapnel is like right there near his heart, near the ventricles.
Yeah,
and all that stuff.
it's just too.
I
So
feel like we can all
instead,
agree the best part of Iron Man 3 is the kid.
Oh,
yeah.
I
You
forgot
know what?
about that kid.
It's the same. I know it feels like a different movie between the Mandarin and that kid. It feels like a different movie.
Totally.
The same
True.
movie.
Yeah,
Totally.
the sidekick.
That kid
So
was
crazy.
The kid, I want to see him come back.
Yeah,
Oh
he's the
my
one.
god.
He's like the Neville of the series, or he's the one that kills Thanos
Yeah,
with the potato
He's gonna
gun.
come back.
Well, Emma, you might just get that. You might.
Let's
just
do it.
Ooh,
Let's
snap!
get
That'd be
him.
dope.
Yep.
All right,
So we're talking about Phase 4.
Phase 4.
And I just have this pulled up right here.
Yes.
So there are, let's see.
How many announced movies do we have?
So I'm going to talk about the announced movies and the slotted movies we have.
Okay.
So we have, for slots for movies, the only one that is planned and dated is SpiderMan Far From Home. So that's going to be
Right.
the first iteration of Phase 4. So that's going to
Okay.
be later this year.
Which
Right.
takes place days after Endgame.
Yes.
Right.
And then we have 2 movies coming out next year, 3 in 2021, and 3 in 2022.
Okay.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can count 9 movies in Phase 4.
Okay.
So of those 9, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are announced but not dated. We have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3,
Right.
which we're not going to get for a very long time.
Yeah.
James Gunn back though.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Shang-Chi. Am I saying that right?
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Yep.
Doctor Strange 2, Black
Yep.
Panther 2, The
Right.
Eternals,
Yep.
and a Black Widow movie.
Yep.
Wait, you didn't sound too excited about that one.
Let's unpack that for a minute.
Yeah.
And I technically unofficially heard that they already are good on a Captain Marvel 2 as well.
Well,
because of
yeah.
the success.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
not. It's not
not
technically in
there.
either of those categories. you
We
just mentioned.
we may not see that till Phase 5.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I don't think we'll wait that long for it, to be honest. I think we'll either not wait that long or it'll get canceled. Because
I can see it coming out in one of the one of the later slots in 2022.
I
Maybe
can see that.
yeah.
really,
the
you think
end-
ScarJo's gonna hold up?
Oh,
No,
we're talking
no,
we're talking
oh.
Marvel.
Cap Marvel.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, that
Yeah.
movie, Black Widow movie, needs to be fucking canceled. Get rid of it. God
Yeah,
damn.
yeah.
You've already pushed it back so many times. Its time has long passed.
Yes, yeah. That's why for that one I
That's-
was saying it's either gonna happen too soon or it's gone.
It's absolutely that movie is nobody wants that. Nobody needs that. It's gonna be a bad movie.
I kind of want it.
Why? Why?
What do you want though? What do you want out of it? What would make it good?
I want her and Jeremy Renner to like get like really split some time. Like obviously they don't have a romantic relationship, so like similar of what I liked in Captain America: Winter Soldier, how Black Widow and Cap totally platonic. I want to see that too, where it's like we don't have to worry about a relationship at all. We're just gonna see 2 badasses like be badass at what they do and go against like a really cool kind of crafty enemy. That's what I would hope to see
But
out
at
of
this
it.
point, so it'd have to be what, like a prequel to have a Black Widow
Yeah.
movie? Because what the fuck else? Budapest.
I wanna know what happened in Budapest.
I don't give a fuck about Budapest.
I'm not so concerned about what happened there, but I know everybody else is. I'm probably the outlier. I would be totally fine if it was something like moving forward. To me, it doesn't have to necessarily go back. And if he is who we think he is from what we've seen in the trailers and what we know of that character in the comic, he might be even more badass. I mean, well, if he is, then he is even more badass than when he's just Hawkeye. So I'd be down to see something like that.
I am down for a Hawkeye movie because there are really fantastic Hawkeye storylines.
Sure.
For Black Widow, I feel like she was never set up for success. They have ruined
she
her
wasn't.
character so much in the movies.
They put her through
She
the
is-
fire. Yeah.
There's no purpose to her. She was introduced as sexy secretary.
Yeah.
And then she went to
Legal
sexy
assistant.
assassin.
Yeah.
And then she is just sexy insert whatever. Like they don't have
Except for
there's
in
no
Winter Soldier.
direction for her. She was alright in Winter Soldier, but I think that's as far as she goes as a character. And then they fucking trashed her in Ultron again, made her like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joss Whedon again.
Yeah, and they've just destroyed her character from the beginning. I have no interest in her life story. I just don't care. She's just there, and we were talking about this a little earlier, like you and I, but I'm so happy that she was not the first female Marvel character we got. I'm so happy with Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Because Black Widow is just not, we don't need the skin-tight cat suit, devastatingly seductive, we don't need that anymore. We don't.
Is that
need
how she is in the comics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
More so, I think, than in the movies for sure.
I think
Yeah,
I think
they
at a certain
actually
point in the
done that.
movies they tried to like let's pull up on the yoke a little bit
Yeah.
and not go so deep into that.
Yeah, basically the
still.
Russo brothers.
Yeah,
like
the Russo-
like,
yeah,
They
like
tried,
Emma was
their
saying.
damnedest.
Yeah,
to
like
save
everything
her.
that Joss Whedon did
But-
was on that side. But even, I mean, I can't even just say Joss Whedon though, honestly, because like you said, she got introduced.
She was a
in
very poor
Iron Man
introduction.
In 2, and Iron Man 2,
Yeah,
the director
with,
was Jon
Jon
Favreau,
Favreau,
who we do like from Iron Man. Well, I do like from Iron Man 1,
Yeah.
and I do like what he did in Iron Man 2. But that's true. She got introduced, kind of at that angle, and I'm trying to think of what the relationship in that movie was after she revealed to Stark that she was working with.
She just appeared to
Fury.
be Fury's flunky at that point. It very much like he's the boss, she's the whatever, she just does whatever
Right.
he says, like she's the assassin, the assassin for hire kind of thing, but she's a
Right.
shield agent.
Yeah.
Right. I wouldn't say flunky. I would say field agent. Like she's like, but she's a. So Coulson's a field agent. She's a
Definitely a step above Coulson.
yeah.
Yeah,
she's
for
like
sure. Yeah.
Like, I don't
She's
wanna say
way more
spy,
lethal than Coulson,
but
yeah.
she's more like
Hey, she is a spy.
yeah. So she's a spy. So she's definitely higher up than Coulson.
Yeah.
Coulson, I wouldn't even call a flunky.
No.
It felt
But,
like,
I don't know.
with Shield early on. I can't remember which movie that is. Maybe it was
One.
Thor. Whenever they have to come try and stop him, and that's when Hawkeye kind of has his first moment.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, when he's
Yeah.
when he was on his way to get
Yeah.
the thing, and that's when Hawkeye got introduced.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
he goes for the gun and then he stops and grabs the bow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
When I was envisioning like Shield's
Everyone,
hierarchy, it was
Yeah.
like Nick Fury's obviously the head guy, the master, the
Yeah.
puppet master.
Yeah.
And then you have like these other people who aren't quite superheroes but are basically the best of the best. And that was
Directors.
Hawkeye and Black Widow.
Yeah.
So I kind of had them as like in that echelon, not like lead character. So is the trailer for Endgame on the table today?
No.
We're not talking about that.
No, because of
'Cause-
present company.
There's some very important stuff that happens in
know.
that trailer
I don't
about
wanna
those two
know.
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all can talk about it. I'll leave the room and just somebody text me and come back.
Okay, so not Black Widow.
I would rather
It's not-
see I would.
I want
I'm
them
with
to just
Curtis.
cancel it.
I would rather see a Black Widow Hawkeye buddy cop movie.
Yeah,
I would
I'd
be
be
okay
down
with
for that. Yeah.
I'd be okay with
And
that.
whether it's an origin, like not even if it's an origin story.
I was gonna say something like more important than a Hawkeye Black Widow movie would be a Hawkeye Kate Bishop movie. That's much more the buddy team up that I want to see.
So
I know.
that's technically another question. Wait, no, or is that question now?
Well,
no. We
okay.
didn't get to that one yet, I guess.
No, we haven't even most anticipated. We haven't even talked about what our most anticipated.
Oh yeah,
ones
we're
are.
just talking. I'm just talking shit
We're just
about
talking
the Black
about.
Widow.
We're just talking hate on.
I'm just like, I don't want this
On
one to
Black
happen.
Widow.
That's what
So-
that's what the Saturday shows are for.
That's why we have decided shows.
So if you're
That's why
listening,
we have
Kevin
web talks.
Feige, please cancel this fucking movie.
Okay, so what is your most anticipated from that list, Emma?
From the list of ones that we already have,
Yes.
uh,
Eternals, Guardians.
honestly, it's either Black Panther 2 or Doctor Strange 2.
Okay.
Probably Black Panther 2.
Okay.
But yeah, I am excited for Guardians 3, but we're not going to get that for so fucking long now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because he's tied to Suicide Squad, and
Right.
they can't do anything until he's done with that.
No, like I said, I am glad that at least the script is already done, so they don't. That's not a part of the time that it usually takes. But yeah, he's got to do it, and he's got to do a good job. It wouldn't be professional of him to go in there and rush through it. And I want to see a Suicide Squad movie that I like more than the first one.
Yeah.
So I would like Mr. Gunn to take his time and make it really good. I
Yeah.
want more DC movies to be excited about than just Wonder Woman.
Can you imagine
Yeah,
if
it's
we were in a world where we could be equally as excited for both? Like it would double our
That's
joy.
what
Right?
That's what we all.
Yeah.
That's how it's
I didn't
supposed
really
to
want to go
be.
see Shazam today. It was out. They were playing it. It had like they were doing those like early screenings today.
Did you end up doing it?
No.
No. Okay.
I didn't have time.
Oh, that's right.
There's some hope for that one. I think my most anticipated is Guardians of the Galaxy, just because I just love that franchise.
Yeah.
I love Star-Lord and Chris Pratt in that role. I just think that that's the character that speaks to me. And now he's got a Zune just like me, so I want to. I love the music, the soundtrack, the characters. Like that's my favorite of the franchise. I don't even care what it has to do with the greater next phase.
Yeah.
Like whoever we talk about the next phases and the big overarching story. I don't care. I just want the new Guardians movie.
I'm with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
How about you, Curtis?
Woo! Doctor Strange too.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange 2. I want it so bad. I'm about to nerd out for a second. Sorry, guys. Here we go. I want Doctor Strange 2. One of the main reasons I want Doctor Strange 2. One, I loved Benedict. I did not expect to love him that much.
And people talk shit about his accent, but I was like, it was fine.
It was totally fine to me.
I didn't notice
British,
anything.
huh?
Yeah. He's very British.
Him and Tom Holland. It's funny, like watching them together.
That's
talking,
right.
And Tom
Holland.
And Tom Hiddleston.
Oh,
Holy crap.
yeah.
So many British people. I love it.
Well,
but
Tom Hiddleston still is kind of British.
Yeah.
I mean, Loki has an British accent.
He's got that arrogant British air about him.
Yeah, and it's more so the dialect that they talk in, like the and the.
And he's got like the Asgardian sort of air about him.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So very true. Yeah. But I want it. I want everybody is talking about they want Nightmare to be the villain, and that's part of the reason why they want it.
Okay.
I want it because I want to see Brother Voodoo get introduced.
Brother
Voodoo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boyfriend of Monica Rambeau.
I was about to say, isn't he
comics.
with? Yeah.
Yep. Because they're all down there in Nolans. He's a doctor in Baton Rouge. He offers his services to clinics and pretty much for free because he's trying to provide health care for people that don't really have access to it. And I love that, like, his thing is like he is always doing that, and he's always Brother Voodoo, and he like never gets enough sleep. Kind of almost like Batman in a way. It's like he has so many problems from being Brother Voodoo and, fighting like the whole mystical realm. And I love that it is like a different type of mysticism. It is the voodoo aspect. And because they're down there in New Orleans, it's got those ties to down there. And it's super
you can get
dope.
really creepy and dirty. You get really and kind of factual.
Man.
Like
Totally, exactly. So it's like a whole different, like he's got like Legba is a part of it for people who know about Legba and the Crossroads and Robert Johnson and all that stuff. That's where you go to the Crossroads. He was going to meet Legba.
Sold his soul to
all of that. So it's really the Vishanti. So, and I was hoping in Captain Marvel, I was hoping that Monica Rambeau was older, and then we'd be kicking it with Carol and Monica. And she'd be like, "Who's this dude?" Be like, "Oh, that's my boyfriend right there, Jericho Drum." Like I wanted to see it like all getting like, who is he? Like, oh girl, I'll tell you about him later, and then we don't find out together. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted all of that.
Sick.
Dude, it would have been so dope.
So, but basically with with Captain Marvel and how they introduced that's got to happen now, right? It's got to happen.
We'll talk about that a little bit later about what's got to happen.
Now I'll be disappointed if it doesn't, because that's a crazy connection.
I would too. We'll see, but I want Doctor Strange and Mordo because what's his name? Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah.
He kicked ass as Baron Mordo. He was so damn good. So I would love to see Mortal come back, go up against Doctor Strange, and then introduce Brother Voodoo. And Brother Voodoo took over for Doctor Strange as the Sorcerer Supreme for a while, so he was Dr. Voodoo. And that whole storyline by, Rick Remender, who I got to meet one time. He's a cool dude. Such a badass story. Everybody should read that.
It was its own series, right?
Hell yeah.
Was it Sorcerer Supreme, or what did they call it?
It was Dr. Voodoo.
Dr. Voodoo.
Yeah. And like Stephen Strange totally had to like pay the background and just help him out. It was so the whole anyway. That's why I want Doctor Strange too.
Okay, that's a
Webb.
good one.
You gonna follow that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I wanted to go last.
Well,
I want Black Widow because pretty lady.
Well, now I can't say that, so now I gotta pivot again. No, so part of me is really anticipating SpiderMan just because he's my favorite superhero, but at the same time, like because I've seen the preview, Like, I feel like it's not as much of anticipation as some of the other ones. And I was also actually going to pick Doctor Strange.
Nice.
But for way less of an in-depth reason.
I took yours, you took mine.
Yeah.
It works out. We're the birthday bros.
Like, I just like Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm a Sherlock fan.
That's all it needs to be. That's
all
good
it
enough
is.
answer.
No, more so, like, just, like, in a general sense, I just want to learn more and, like, see more of the mystic realm.
Oh,
and, like,
heck
the
yeah.
mystic aspect of it.
So cool.
I think that's going to be really cool to see.
Yep.
So, but yeah. SpiderMan, I'm anticipating because I'm hang on, wait, before I go too deep into this.
Sure.
Emma, have you seen the trailer?
I've seen the first trailer where they
Okay,
showed
so
Okay,
way
yeah.
too much.
So this is fine.
They showed way too much. It pissed me off.
I agree. This is the first time when I'm seeing this, and I'm like,
So much Mysterio.
way too much. I'm curious about Mysterio. How they're going to do Mysterio, because Mysterio is traditionally a villain, but in the trailer, for some reason, he seems to be doing something good, and I realize that Marvel does this all the time. They make a fake trailer, and I actually read an article about how the Russo brothers,
Yeah.
they intentionally direct the trailer differently than they direct the movie, because the trailer is a different experience than the movie.
And they were talking about that, like, there are CGI things in the trailer that we changed, so that's not the way it is in the movie. And
Right.
So I'm not gonna fucking watch that trailer. You're not gonna get me, Marvel.
They shoot it all green screen. That's what like trips me out. It's like you shoot everything green screen. You literally just swap out the backgrounds. Remember the Thor thing?
Yeah.
We
the
thought
eye.
that. Yeah, we thought
eye.
the eye was gonna be there. We thought that he was gonna go see Odin in like New York City or something.
Yeah.
It never happened because they just swapped it all out.
Switch.
Yeah.
So
Little switcheroo.
I have a theory on Mysterio and what's going on there.
I think I have I think we talked about this.
I think so.
Are we
but-
okay to talk about theories, Emma?
Yeah, it's just a theory. It's not
I'll allow
confirmed
it.
anymore.
Okay. I think a theory that you and I both have is that he's like, so we see him fighting this giant water figure, and that he's creating it and then fighting
Yeah.
it to seem like a good guy.
He's creating the problems. Yeah.
He's creating the problems. Yeah.
Very
That's what he did in the comic books.
I was gonna call that Munchausen's, but it's really not.
Yeah, but I mean, but that is what he did in the comics. In the comics, he's a stunt, like special effects and stuntman.
yeah.
So that's his background, like
Yeah.
creating illusions, basically, and hoping to get you caught up in them. I mean, good enough illusions to where Spider-Man's Spidey senses go off.
I just really like Jake Gyllenhaal.
Me too.
I'm a fan.
Ever
I think
since
he's
Donnie
going to crush
Darko.
the role. Yeah.
I think he's a crush the role, but I'm curious to know why Mysterio looks like a Roman soldier.
Looks like a Centurion.
Yeah, why does he look like a centurion? I don't
With like some like plaid pants on. Yeah, the design is interesting. He is very orange and tan in the costumed area. That is interesting.
I felt like
true.
they were making it like I don't know if I remember the version of him from the comics. I mean, not the comics, from the cartoon is
Yeah.
where I know Mysterio the best.
Yeah.
For sure.
And he was
I feel like he was brighter
he was
colors.
more mysterious for
Yeah.
sure. And
Yeah.
this one makes it seems like he's going to be like a smile for the cameras type of like,
Yeah.
the people love me.
Hey guys, watch this. Stand
yeah,
back.
yeah, exactly. Stand
Yeah.
back, everybody. Like
You don't want a part of this.
Yeah.
Your hero's here.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be playing hero more. So I think we could expect something different than we've seen from other stuff.
We might end up seeing him become the villain at the end.
Maybe.
he
Like
becomes
Like a twist.
a twist.
See,
yeah.
that's what I initially thought too. Because anytime they play us so hard in one direction, I'm always like, "Well, there's a reason." I forget the name of the move, but when I took judo, there was this move that we did where you kind of like a dance. You lean your opponent over to the right, like you cheat, and then you sweep them the other way because it's unexpected. And anytime someone makes me lean too far to a side, I'm like, I feel like you're gonna throw me hard the other way.
You have to sweep the leg.
You're about to sweep the leg.
Ah,
So
tricky.
I'm not sure if he's gonna be good, if he's gonna be bad, or something's gonna happen and he's gonna end up over his head and then have to make a decision in the middle. I'm kind of curious. We'll see.
Maybe he gets over his head and his powers and starts destroying London, and that's when you see Spider-Man swoop in to try and stop him.
Because there's that whole scene with the London Eye coming down. in the
Yeah.
trailer.
Oh, right.
Boom.
So we'll see about this mysterious Mysterio character.
But yeah, Spider-Man Far From Home was like the last Marvel trailer I'll ever watch.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers showed everything.
The entire movie is in that.
Yeah. So it's so okay. This boggles my mind. This boggles my mind.
Clearly,
no, because this is new. Like this whole spoiler thing and like watch it.
Yeah.
Like think about it. Like when we were
true.
younger, this was never really a thing. It's very like
not watching trailers was never a thing.
I mean, you knew Darth Vader was Luke's father. You know, I knew that before I even watched Star Wars because that I'm your father. Yeah, that was just around. But let me ask this question though. How I think I have seen movies where it does feel like they give away too much in the trailers, but 90-second, 2-minute trailer, 2-hour and 45-minute movie.
The thing that it is for me is I don't like seeing something in the trailer and knowing that it's coming,
right?
And then it changes the way that I watch the first bit of that movie. So like if I see something in a trailer and I'm an hour into the movie and it looks like a character's gonna die, I'm like,
there was a bazooka in the trailer.
Or I'll be like,
Right.
I'll be like, oh my god, maybe they'll die. Oh wait, I haven't seen this scene that was in the trailer, so they're fine and they're gonna live or whatever. Like it's like little things like that.
Yeah.
Or what used to get me about like superhero movies or comedies especially is like you get to a point and like you can't laugh at the joke because it was in the trailer and you know it's coming.
Yeah, they use like the best joke.
I know him from work.
Yeah.
So for me,
sure.
it's all about that first viewing experience, which especially for movies like these, like I'm like into it. I'm on it.
So
or
much
like Game of Thrones,
anticipation.
like I'm like this is what I'm here for. Don't nobody fucking ruin this for me. This is my moment.
I want it to be pure.
You brought up a good point when it comes to that Game of Thrones spoilers, where it's like we only get 6 episodes this season. Every minute of it, you want to be there.
Fresh.
So like with Game of Thrones, the thing that I started doing last season, and I'm going to do this season as well, I won't even watch the previously on before the episode because it goes back and it shows you. Like it shows you, remember this thing that happened 4 seasons ago? This is going to be important this episode.
That's true.
I hate that.
That's true.
Really? I love that. I need it.
I skip
so dumb. Like I'll miss that.
I just remember everything I watched, so it's not a problem.
I forget, and I need to see those little recaps, and then I feel like I'm figuring out a little puzzle.
What?
When it happens, I'm like, ooh, I remember that because in the preview scenes they said this. Now that makes sense. Like I dig it.
I know for right now I'm skipping him because when they especially
You're binging it.
I'm binging it. So I just saw the last episode 10 seconds ago. I don't need to recap
straight through.
And I saw What You Gonna Show Me 2 seasons ago. That was 2 days ago for me. So I remember vividly. All right, so we talked a little bit back where we were talking about the most significant point, and we were talking Iron Man 1 got brought up as one of the most significant movies. And Iron Man, I don't remember if we talked about this on the show before or not, but when they went with Iron Man, how much of a gamble that was.
Right, yeah, he was not a popular character.
He was not a popular character. He was a semi-known character, but not a popular character.
Right.
And they took a leap and they built this empire on Iron Man. And then there was such a success with Iron Man that they're like, okay, well, what else can we do? And they pulled in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So in this next arc, this next phase that we're going to be going into, what are some characters that you guys think they can just pull out of the woodwork and like make a great movie?
Any of the Young Avengers.
So you want to see Young Avengers?
I want Young Avengers so bad.
But we saw Cassie.
We saw Cassie.
I want to be just like you, Dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I need Kate. I need America Chavez. I need all of these things. I need all of them.
Who else is in the Young Avengers?
Hulkling,
Patriot, right?
Wiccan, Iron Patriot, or just
Patriot.
Patriot.
Is this their Teen Titans?
And Patriot, I love because they
Kinda,
can just tie him back into Captain America.
Teen
Yeah,
Titans, Young
because his
Justice.
grandfather,
Because his
right?
grandfather was the original experiment for the super serum before they were like, oh, this is safe. We can use it on a white guy now.
Yeah, totally. And what's funny is they put a little bit of the Patriot in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show.
Did they?
Yeah, they had a guy on there named was it Tribbett? He was actually a solid character and a solid actor for a while, but his grandfather is what they were tying back to as the guy who was in the Howling Commandos with Cap.
Okay, yeah.
So they kind of had him in there, and he had all the fixings, but they didn't call him Patriot. And I don't know what Patriot's real name is, so it could have even been that. I'll fact check.
So like,
it.
I need
like
young Loki. I need not
Young
Tom
Loki.
Hiddleston Loki. I need Hulkling and Wiccan, and they're
You're losing
beautiful.
me. You're losing me quick with all this stuff.
I need Vision running the Young Avengers. I need all of it.
Young
I feel
Vision,
like it
not
gets
Viv.
cheesy when you get like Hulkling and young Loki and like these offshoot
Really?
characters.
Rocket Raccoon isn't cheesy?
Super Dog. Like no, I mean like it's just this
all about
already
how you
established
make it.
character, but it's a boy or it's a dog or it's a
Well,
girl.
Hulkling is only called Hulkling because other people call him that. He has no relation to the Hulk. He's an alien who just happens to be green. And I
know.
think so he starts getting called Hulkling.
Yeah, but what about young Loki? I don't know. I don't like these.
Well, young
these
Loki
youngster
is
whippersnapper.
Well, young Loki's been young
still-
Loki. He's been female Loki.
Yeah,
he's
he's
been
still
frog
Loki.
Loki. Like
Yeah.
Loki's a shapeshifter. So he's just he at this point just happens to have shapeshifted into a teenager.
Like a Time Lord.
Same
which
Loki.
which is
get
something
it.
I would really want them to do because I'm over Tom Hiddleston's Loki.
I get
I'm
it,
over it.
but I just don't. I don't.
So Thanos.
Not digging
There's
it.
just so much other better material to draw from. Like we don't even
How
have.
dare you.
We don't even
What
have
you got,
X-Men yet.
Cory?
Hang on, I have a,
Oh, okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so when Cory said, "Is this like Teen Titans?" and I came back and I was like, kind of mixed between Teen Titans and Young Justice.
Yeah.
And I thought about Young Justice as mainly sidekicks. No, I know.
yeah,
I
'cause
pulled
it's
back.
not
I pulled back
sidekicks.
on that. Are there sidekicks in Marvel?
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah, that was my reaction
right?
too.
You're just like obviously yes. Wait a minute.
Okay, so technically, yeah. Okay, so Bucky was a sidekick.
Yeah.
Would you say that Bucky was the sidekick?
In the comics, yeah, the original Bucky Barnes, like blue and red uniform.
Yeah?
Like, he
Okay.
was like the boy wonder of the Marvel. If you
Yeah,
just go
totally.
based on his look.
Yeah, like the Robin
Because
of Marvel.
I always just thought of Winter Soldier as being Winter Soldier. He's his own thing.
So that's
But
the
no,
craziest.
not Winter Soldier. Bucky Barnes.
Bucky Barnes.
Oh,
yeah.
so I never knew Bucky. I never knew Bucky Barnes was
His own thing.
a thing. I thought he was Cap's friend from when he was in the military.
So that's the dope thing. But Bucky, when he way back in the day, like when Cap around the time Cap first came out, they killed Bucky off back then, and Bucky literally did not return to comics until Ed Brubaker, the guy that wrote Criminal that I was raving about, until he created a storyline to bring Bucky. Yeah, there goes Bucky right there, to bring Bucky back as the Winter Soldier, and literally that's part of the reason why he wears that mask is because that was his original mask when he was Bucky Cap's sidekick.
okay.
So that's what he looked like. For those of you that aren't, I'm not showing the chat either. I'm showing him a picture of like the red and blue, like very Boy Wonder-esque Bucky Barnes
he looks
uniform.
very okay. So
I don't think Marvel has actual sidekicks, but they like everybody has sidekicks. Like Groot and Rocket are sidekicks from one another, or Foggy is like a sidekick, but
Yeah.
they're not.
but not in the same sense that DC has sidekicks.
Yeah,
you don't have Batman
not
and
like-
Robin.
sidekick.
Or
Yeah.
Flash and Kid Flash.
Yeah,
or
there you go.
Superman,
Aquaman,
Superboy.
It's
Aquaman, Aqualad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they team up more than they have like
Interesting.
wards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a young ward.
Yeah, like young children, that
Yeah.
you're
I just
being
watched your parents die,
irresponsible
and now I'm
with.
going to kidnap you and lock you in a cave and make you eat rats for a week and get mad at my butler when he feeds you.
Right.
Yeah.
All while
Fantastic
doing
comic series.
all in a green speedo.
all in a green
Mind you.
shield. So okay, so sorry, that was off topic.
But yeah, so it's not it's not the sidekicks,
Not in the
because
same
none of them are
sense.
sidekicks.
Right.
Well, Kate Bishop, you could say that she is originally a sidekick of Hawkeye before she takes up the mantle
Right.
for
Yeah.
herself.
Before she pulls off on her
but
own. That's
very yeah.
Like in the Young Avengers, she's not young Hawkeye. She's
Right.
Hawkeye.
true. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Corey, most unlikely hero or character.
The one I would like to see the most would be easily the Sentry.
I knew that was coming.
it to come out.
It's not
love
happening.
The Sentry, and he could if they're making an Eternals movie, like the power scale of these characters and what they're capable of shoots up insurmountably. So
Yeah.
Sentry is one of those, and it could be one of those period pieces, kind of like Captain Marvel. Because like his whole original timeline is like a secret retcon type of thing where he was erased from the memory of
Yeah.
everybody.
Where was he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's tied directly to Fantastic Four.
Yep.
So he could be part of Fantastic Four's third movie, maybe. You know, or
Why not?
the Fantastic Four 2 or 3. You bring him in, and first he's just like the scientist Bob Reynolds there or whatever, and then you kind of get how he turns in and ends up helping them back in the day,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then do the climax of the movie. They have to erase him from everybody's mind when he comes back to save the day, like exactly what they did with Captain Marvel.
That's what I was gonna
Okay.
say. I was gonna say have him be the villain, like introduce him as the Void,
Oh yeah.
and then later have the whole time that's
Yeah,
how
that would be great.
sick. Yeah.
I know nothing about the Sentry. Like,
So around what you're saying, you bring up another point, which is, do we think we're going to see X-Men or Fantastic Four in Phase 4? Or are we going to have to wait till Phase 5? Are we assuming that Phase 4 is already entirely planned? And we're going to have to wait until
I
Phase
think so.
5?
Because what's the average like movie length of a phase? It's usually like between like
Well,
4
this one
to
is
6.
right now is going from now until 2022.
Now to 2022.
So for the next 3 years. So do we think it's going to be
then,
3 to
I'm
4
gonna change.
4 years before we see?
I say phase 5.
Yeah,
I,
so it's gonna be at
I say
least
they
4
tease
years.
it though in phase 4. It's like
Yeah,
some movie.
because
Maybe like end credit stuff that they can do reshoots and things. And,
Exactly.
I don't think they have enough time
to cast
and do it right.
Yeah.
It would have to be like their last slots in 2022.
I don't know. I think that those characters. I don't know. Maybe I'm just selling the writers short, but I feel like that the whole concept of mutants, and even the Fantastic Four to some degree, is going to take more so mutants is going to take something big, significant in the movies to justify where they were or why they exist now.
That's
Well,
the thing. That's
it's
my
gonna
whole
be
point.
like-
That's why I think it's not. They don't have enough time to come up with a reasonable explanation.
Well, that's why I think like that's how you could like Thanos.
Curtis is losing
Curtis,
his fucking mind.
before you explode,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay. Jonathan Hickman,
Yes.
my favorite
Oh,
comic
we were talking
book
about this the
writer.
other day.
Yes.
Hickman is coming back.
Yes. Wrote Infinity. Literally scenes from Infinity when Black Panther punches Cole Obsidian in the head. Literally, they took that panel out of the Infinity comic and put it in the movie. So, like, the most that they took from the books was Jim Starlin, who created Thanos and Gamora and Moondragon and Drax, and then the other part was Jonathan Hickman. I think his stuff is going to be adopted because the whole Hickman is and I just saw it today. Like he posted a GIF of the monkeys gathering around the monolith from 2001: A Space Odyssey. To me, X-Men fans, they bringing him back to write X-Men. So, like, the whole Reed Richards, he did the best Fantastic Four run recently. I think he's the perfect person to, and he's coming back now. Notice that, hey, we got the Fox stuff.
Yeah.
Let's bring the best comic book writer that we've had for the last 10 years and make him the person to do X-Men. Why wouldn't they do that unless they're starting to get those storylines together? So in the end of Phase 4 or the beginning of Phase 5, they got the perfect explanation on how to bring the X-Men and Fantastic Four in. Because at this point, he will have written both of the characters.
So go ahead.
So X-Men being so big, and we know this is so significant, how?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's either going to have to be a dimensional shift or like a catastrophic event, and mutants end up being like your DNA is altered, like living people's DNA is altered by something.
Yeah.
So to that point, remember we talked about Marvel failures. There was a big one that we forgot to talk about because I think it's such a big failure that we forgot it happened. Inhumans.
Well, we were just talking like movies, but yeah, the Inhumans was a massive failure.
Well, it was such a failure that it was
and then it was
supposed
moved
to be a movie.
Yeah. They were like, "This is bad. We're
Yeah.
gonna relegate you to TV. Maybe you'll survive there." No, you won't.
Don't know why. There was a real DC move that they pulled because they introduced Inhumans with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there were whole Inhumans in there. And then they came out with their own TV show that
And
had,
they shaved Medusa's head in the first episode.
to my knowledge, had nothing to do with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No.
None of the characters crossed over.
No.
There was no mention of one or the other.
No.
And then, it just kind of...
That's how big of a failure it was
It was
now.
so
but
frustrating.
but to that point, how they take stuff from other like properties, to kind of keep the storyline going. They could easily do, because I mean, like, we can say that the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show is the redhead stepchild of the MCU, right?
Yeah.
So with that said, I can easily see them doing something like Terrigenesis being released into the atmosphere, triggering the mutant gene. All it would take was some terrorist.
Yeah, if the gene is just triggered, it doesn't necessarily have to change your DNA. It's just there. It was dormant in everybody.
It was dormant, and then it just,
something
just wakes
changes.
it up. So you can give the X-Men a little bit of the Inhumans treatment, and nobody would bat an eye. And everybody knows that the Inhumans was basically just a failed X-Men anyway.
Here's what I'd want fixed, though.
Sure.
That's all fine and dandy. But the part that really just hurts me and that I think they should recut the movie with these characters all just replaced is Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
That's going to hurt it so bad.
That's going to hurt whatever you want to do, because then you have to kind of sever the Magneto ties.
Or you just don't have them in there. I mean, Quicksilver is not even alive right now. He's dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's dead.
I mean,
but Scarlet
so
Witch
is Scarlet Witch right now.
Yeah.
She's dead
she's
too.
dead too, but she's significant enough to like other storylines.
Well, and once you get the mutant angle in there, you get real Scarlet Witch because we don't have Scarlet Witch right now.
No,
we
no.
have a woman who dresses in red and she moves things with her mind.
Yeah.
That is all that we have. That is
she's
not
almost
Scarlet
closer
Witch.
to Jean Grey.
She
than
is much closer to Jean Grey than she
Very
is to
true.
Scarlet Witch. They haven't touched her reality bending powers.
No, nope.
Which you have the reality gem, you have a
That
whole
could-
setup
I guess-
for it.
And that's another
That's an
sub
option
blunder.
that they can use,
Right.
I guess.
Because in reality, with her reality warping powers, she should have got her powers, if any, from any stone, from the reality stone, the Aether, right? But they had the Mind Stone in play because Thanos already had it and gave it to Loki to put in his scepter. So like they kind of botched that too. It would have made way more sense for her to get her powers from the reality stone.
Yeah.
But
And then you bring in
anyway.
real Scarlet Witch and you can get Wiccan.
I'm fine
And
though.
you bring it back to the
Wiccan,
Young
yeah,
Avengers.
yeah, exactly.
I think Magneto is such a
Wiccan's
strong character though. He probably doesn't need
And that's what I was gonna say. They don't even need to be.
Yeah.
That doesn't even have to be a part of it. And again, we're thinking of the comics, and again, you got to pick and choose when you're attached to them and when they're not, because since they've already done it, we know they're not going back. But like Scarlet Witch is strong enough to stand on her own without Magneto, right? Like same thing, Magneto. He's a strong enough character to not need Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch to be introduced.
Yeah.
It would be nice, but it's not necessary.
Not needed.
As
right.
far as I know.
Right.
Like, I don't know that there's any stories that are premeditated upon the fact that they're family.
That's true.
No
It's
worthy ones.
It's just a, trivia piece.
True. So you're going with Hyperion. I mean, not Hyperion, Sentry.
Sentry.
I always
All
get
that to
Hyperion
say.
and Sentry mixed up.
Yeah, all that to say, I think Sentry would be a sick character just to throw in there.
I think Sentry
he
would be
can have
sick.
his own, not arc, but, at least be significant to one of the other major storylines.
For sure.
And then they come back to need him to, like, we never got a good World War Hulk or anything like that. I don't know if we ever will.
Well, no, with Ragnarok and what they did with that.
Yeah, that's
there's
what
really
I
no
was
need
thinking.
for
they,
it.
they
Hinted at
hijacked Planet Hulk or
Yeah.
pieces of it, but left my favorite arc, World War Hulk. But
Oh, what about you, David Webb?
David, yeah.
Oh man,
It's a tough one, right?
it is a tough one.
You want Squirrel Girl?
Squirrel Girl, the
I mean, if we're going to
Unbeatable.
get her, we should have had her
I
already.
think
Well,
that would be
actually,
cool.
they already
In the
cast
TV
her.
show,
Yeah, I honestly
They
think it would be
already
cool.
Silicon Valley.
I think it'd be very like a Deadpool-esque movie, which I think it would be cool.
Oh,
to see.
Squirrel Girl?
Yeah,
I mean, if we were going to have her, they should have had her in the Infinity Saga so she could take out Thanos.
strip
Oh
and
my
like punch
God.
him, and
That's how
like,
he goes down.
Well, she takes out Doom too, so they could still use
That's
that
true.
as well.
Yeah.
She takes out everybody. She's unbeatable.
Is she just, like, ridiculously powerful?
Her ability is just that she's unbeatable.
Fair enough.
She's
The unbeatable Squirrel Girl, yeah.
You can't beat her.
How did she beat? She beat Doctor Doom by flooding his ship with squirrels or something like that. It was something ridiculous.
It's something to affect. Like,
love her.
everybody always just gets like the ultimate disrespect. She like becomes friends with them, or like it's like finish him. Friendship.
Yeah, his little
It's like,
friendship thing.
you can't beat her. She's
it's
unbeatable.
kind of like
Squirrel Girl.
Gwenpool. Gwenpool's like that.
Yeah.
Like she just like trips and stabs.
Is that your pick?
Thanos. Yeah, I'll say Squirrel Girl is because I mean the ones that I really want are ones that I know we're probably going to get. Like we were talking Fantastic Four, Xmen.
Okay.
And those are like they're not least likely characters. Like we know we're going to get them.
Yeah.
So,
Totally.
yeah. Curtis?
Oh my goodness, I'm like pulling up Comixology to look.
I know, that's the thing. I'm trying to like think
I
back.
don't read a lot of Marvel comics. I'm more DC.
I don't have a very surface knowledge.
But what I do read is the Young Avengers.
What's crazy is that like a lot of these too like are just kind of out from the gate because like Daredevil I think is one who could have like done his own movie. Like we're talking about this whole new
And Daredevil
universe.
and Scarlet Witch. I keep messing that up because her name's Scarlett Johansson and Scarlet Witch. Daredevil and Black Widow would have been a great team up because they are together in the comics for a time, like in a serious relationship. They work together.
Yeah. Punisher, another one who I hope has some sort of impact. I hope they take these Netflix guys if they don't end up rebooting them on their own platforms. I hope they at least have something to do with the plots of some of these movies in the next stage. They can't just kill off all this great material.
They kind of have to, at least for the next 2 years.
I think, yeah. I mean, my original thing was I was to say it would be cool to see a Defenders movie, and
That went well.
see them.
I feel like I was one of the few people that actually enjoyed that, but I can definitely say
Defenders
it was
had
very
its
meh.
moments, but it annoyed me that it was only 8 episodes and there were still like 3 filler episodes.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I know.
Like,
yeah.
what the fuck is and Sigourney Weaver being a complete throwaway character? Oh, we could have a whole episode.
We could have a whole-
That's a whole
that's
nother.
the
We
next
might need
web
another
talk.
Saturday.
We need another web talk
for what
for-
they did, how they did Sigourney
We
Weaver.
could just talk through all the Marvel Netflix series. But anyway, you were saying.
But yeah,
Defenders
no,
movie.
but Defenders, like, I do agree. I think the episode. I never even finished the season.
So would you want a lead up to the Defenders series the way we got on Netflix, where you get a Daredevil movie, a Punisher movie, or not Punisher, Luke Cage movie, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist? Like, do you want that lead up, or do you want to Justice League it and throw them all into the first movie and introduce all of them at the same time? I probably shouldn't have led with, do you want to Justice
I know,
League?
because
Yeah.
no, I can't say
bias
that.
there.
Well, no, because here's the thing, though, is kinda because technically the Netflix movies or Netflix shows are in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
They make references. It's slight, but so it's like, do we need another origin movie for somebody who we basically know?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't want to say yes because you phrased it, and I don't want to compare it to the Justice League.
But when you're
also-
envisioning a Defenders movie, is it those same actors and
Yes.
those same
Yeah.
stories?
Oh,
that's the
100%.
problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem because they cannot do that right now
Why?
because Netflix has a non-compete clause.
Oh, because it's
Yeah.
Netflix.
There's a cooling off
They
period.
cannot use those.
Yeah.
That iteration of those characters are completely off the table
Okay,
right now.
we'll see them in 3 years.
Yeah.
The hard thing there is that you don't know that you're going to get all those actors back because for the next 2 years they have to work. They have to
yeah.
sign on to projects. They have to make
I
commitments.
know.
They got
that's,
bills.
That's the thing.
We're fucked. We're never getting these characters back.
What are some of the? We've been bringing up these ideas we want to see, like we did Squirrel Girl. Who's playing Squirrel Girl?
It's the girl from the T-Mobile commercials
Oh
No.
snap! For real?
AT&T.
or AT&T.
AT&T,
No,
yeah.
it was T-Mobile.
Nope.
AT&T.
I promise you it was AT&T.
It was AT&T.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
right because it's the blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's
I'm
playing-
only mad because it's not Anna Kendrick.
Oh, she would be perfect.
I know.
Yeah. I
don't even really
she
like her,
wanted it
but-
too.
Really?
She tweeted about it.
Oh, she's
I'm
probably
in
too
love with
expensive.
her. I'm
What
in
about
love with her.
Sentry? Who's playing Sentry?
I don't know anything about Sentry.
I know nothing about Sentry.
Not a known actor because they'll have to go a little younger, and I'm not keeping up with the youngers too much. I'm not sure.
I think-
It would have to be younger. What do you think though?
Chris Hemsworth.
Sentry?
Huh?
Chris
Thor?
Hemsworth?
Yeah, Thor. Recast him.
Oh my god.
You just want
No.
to bring him back.
There's not too many
No.
people who could pull out, like, because he's like a big, like, he's a Superman hulking type, figure, that has like the big glass. I mean, Iron.
You don't
There's
want
so
him to be
many dudes
old,
in
though,
Hollywood
right?
like that.
Really?
You can throw a rock.
not
Rocket dude in
Hyperion,
Hollywood.
because you want to be able to grow with him for a little while. You want to stick around. Oh, okay.
That would be like saying, "Hey, let's have Chris Evans come and play the Human Torch."
Yeah.
That's it.
I-
I see what you did there, and
Yeah.
I like it.
I pulled up a list too. Hercules would be a good one.
Hercules.
He has a lot of significance later on in there, and then you start introducing some of the others like Ares and things like that. Like once you start getting into more of the
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I'm not opposed to it.
She-Hulk.
I found
She-Hulk. Yeah.
I found my
And that
my
could lead into
oh,
an A-Force.
She-Hulk has to. Heck yeah. I found mine. My
Yeah, I
my
was
one
gonna say
that's,
I just realized you never answered the question.
I'll make it quick. We kind of already set up for it, and I always talk about it all the time. I beat this dead horse. The Ultimates. Al Ewing's
Yeah.
run on the
Yeah.
Ultimates. It's Captain Marvel. It's Spectrum, aka Monica Rambeau, her best friend. T'Challa, Black Panther. America Chavez, Miss America.
My girl, Miss America.
Oh my gosh, Blue Marvel, Adam Brashear, who everybody needs to know about him, and I think Will Smith could play him perfectly because he's kind of like a Black Reed Richards almost, but a cooler storyline. I feel like I'm forgetting one person. No, that's it. Spectrum. Yeah, so we're partially already set up. We got technically 3 of the characters already in there, and basically their job is to take care of galactic events before they even occur. So like proactive, as Alpha Flight will and SWORD will monitor incoming threats, they are proactive. So like I said, the first thing they do in the first issue is they fix Galactus. Galactus is a world eater. He consumes. Let's make him not hungry anymore.
That's sick. That's kind of cool.
Ruru too in chat made a good point. They're not going to do Greek mythology because DC has Wonder Woman doing that, and
Think they're-
Aquaman even linked to Poseidon.
You think they're afraid?
Not afraid,
Not afraid,
but just
but
like
more so like why copy.
Because
They did it first.
Namor is a dick and everybody's gonna love him if they just hire someone who's ridiculously good. Like I personally think that Ezra Miller should have never been the Flash, and they should have signed him up as Namor because he would be
that's
perfect.
good.
He's
Namor,
sexy and he could play a total like great jerk. It'd have been perfect for it.
I do love me some Ezra Miller, but not as the Flash. That's
No.
just a bad. That's just
Yeah,
a bad part.
totally-
Not even because like he did a bad job in it. It's just a poorly written part.
It was totally
Yeah, it
totally-
was.
No.
And don't get me started on that suit. Oh my god.
oh, the one with zip ties all over it.
Fucking. You want to?
His
I'm
Power
not gonna get
Ranger
into it. I'm not gonna
suit.
get into it.
That's
Rurutu says they can't do Namor. Universal has the rights to that.
Well, so it's not that they can't do Namor.
So next up on Disney's list, Universal.
right?
we're
Yeah.
coming for you.
It's not that they can't
Just
do
to
it.
get Namor.
Namor in the hole.
And you know what? We're not even gonna use him. We just want him because you have him.
Straight
Yeah,
up.
that's the King Joffrey move. Well, that is the wrap-up music you guys are hearing. Thank you guys so much for coming to this week's Web Talk. We will be doing another one next Saturday episode. Emma, today is Saturday, so you don't have a schedule up.
I do not. I'm
For-
dead in con crunch.
So you're offline.
Yeah.
For your.
I've been offline for a very long time. It's actually really bad.
I thought I saw you online the other day.
I
got a
was. It was my
notification.
first stream in like a week and a half.
But
I-
it was on
I-
accident. She just hit the mouse and accidentally clicked go live.
That damn what is it? Stream Deck. Hit the
Yeah,
Stream Deck
Yeah.
button
hit
on
the
it?
stream deck.
She's doing progress pictures. Yeah, progress pictures on
Yes.
social media though.
Yeah, so where can people find those progress pictures?
Twitter, Discord, Instagram.
Emmaskies. That's what I was going for.
Yeah, Emmaskies.
Slash
everywhere.
Emmaskies everywhere.
Guys.
Chris, what you got?
I've been streaming, man. I'm gonna keep streaming. 2K right now. I'm reading comics too on there. What I did this Wednesday and what I'll continue to do is, if you guys want a peek of what I'll be reviewing, and I'm gonna read through the comics. So join me at twitch.tv/skipandtosh, and we'll read the comics together. I kind of put a pause on it so that way I don't give away anything, but it is me and my raw impressions of the comic as we go. So I'll read at least one of the 2 comics that I talk about on VGB later. So check me out. And yeah, I'll be doing more basketball, dunking on people, popping off.
All right. let's go.
Nice. Corey, you gonna be streaming?
Probably not.
No.
No, not until The Bachelor comes back on.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm a family man, guys.
God.
I don't
He's,
have any time. So when the Bachelor's offline, that's like dedicated husband time. And then when The Bachelor comes back,
You do
anything goes.
reviews of The Bachelor.
Yeah.
You should have given the roast stew.
Yeah.
That's
How's-
Patreon content, right?
Yeah,
there.
Patreon content.
I-
Speaking of Patreon
Yeah.
content, we got Patreon content coming up when Game of Thrones comes back.
Yeah.
So make sure to check that out.
I'm so excited. I finished my rewatch.
It's
done.
You're
I'm
all caught back.
almost
Oh
done.
wow.
Yeah, it took me like a week longer than it should have because I had family in town. So I had to put a little bit of a pause on Game of Thrones. I was like, oh, yeah, spend time with my mom for her birthday. Love you, Mom.
I just
think
had-
she listens to this.
I was just getting stressed
really?
out.
I think so.
Oh hey, Emma, Mom.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Mama
Happy
Skies.
birthday, Mama Skies. Mama Sky, Mama Sky, Mama Sky.
I just follow me on Twitter. I usually tweet. I don't have a schedule. I don't know when I go live.
Gotta get that schedule.
Sometimes I
Webb.
feel like I'm gonna go live, and I'm like, nah, no, not feeling it.
I'm always just waiting for you to go live, and I never know when it's gonna happen. So
We still gotta get that win in Apex.
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Twitch.tv/WebSlinger1. Follow me on Twitter at RealDavidWebb. That is our show. Thank you guys for watching. I almost forgot how to do an outro. For Corey Vincent, Curtis Fisher, Emmaskies, I'm the Real David Webb saying, we'll see you next time.